DC al fine. Nobody else teaches this stuff the way I do anyway. So, DC al fine. You don't have your notebook here, do you? The red notebook?
It's in the car.
DC al fine. DC al fine. Say DC al fine. Yeah, it's Italian, so you have to say it with a lot of gusto. Al fine.
Al fine.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. You could go to an Italian restaurant and say, "I'd like a pizza with the DC al fine." DC al fine. That stands for da capo. Da capo. So I have two P's or what? I'm not a very good speller. DC al fine. I don't know. It doesn't even have it. Da capo al fine. That's a cursive F. And that is an accent in Italian because this is Italian. That means you pronounce the E as an E. Al fine. Right? Like andante. The capo al fine stands for, well, the word capo comes from the word cap. Cap means, what does cap mean? Nobody knows what cap means. Cap means head.
What?
Head. Yeah. Anything with cap in it has to do with the word head. Okay? I have to work on this. What's this right here?
Cap.
It's a cap. Where is it?
On his head.
On his head. Yeah. What's this right here? The C is, these are lowercase, and this is what?
Uppercase.
It's uppercase, and we also call that capital. Is it AL or OL? AL. Capital, right? And where is it? It's at the head of the word. Everything else is the tail of the word, and this is the head of the word, or the head of the sentence. So it's cap. It's capital. All right, speaking of the capital, what's this right here?
George Washington Monument.
It could be the George Washington Monument. Slightly different.
White Tower.
The White House? Capitol building?
Use some context clues. What's this in DC? It's the capital, right? C-A-P-I-T. Maybe I drew it badly. It's the capital. Now what does cap mean? Cap means head. And what is the capital?
Capital. Head of the word. Of the
It's the head of state, right? Every state has a capital, and it's the head of the state. So it's head. Cap means head. Right? What's this? See, they tell you when you take the SATs, you have to memorize 3,000 words. I say you only have to memorize 200 roots. It's a little easier. What's this guy right here? He's on a ship. He's the head of the ship. Cap means he's the captain. He's the captain. And what's the captain?
The
Head
boat.
of the
Boat.
ship. Yeah. By the way, what happens to this boat? See, cap means head. Anything with the word cap in it has something to do with head. Alright? Now, let's take a look at this boat. Where's the head of the boat now?
In the water.
Yeah. Poor captain. He's on a donut in the middle of the water. What happened to the boat?
Sink.
Right. And another word for sink is
Sink.
the boat has capsized. The head of the boat is in the water.
What's the size?
Well, I don't know, but the
Like
boat's
the
only
size
half
of
the
the
size. Cap means head. Alright? What else has the word cap in it? Caption. Oh, that's right. So we're writing a paper. All of a sudden I have a little asterisk here, right? Now we put them. Now we have what are called footers. But we can think, well, did they always put them at the foot? Maybe they put them at the head. Maybe they put the captions at the head. Maybe that's why they're called captions. Maybe footers used to be captions, right? C-A-P-T-I-O-N. By the way, see that caption up there? So it's a caption, so it's at the head of the paper. Now we put them in the back, but they must have put them at the front at some point. If you go to the antique store and look up those old moldy books, they probably have captions at the front. They must, because it has the word cap in it. I'm guessing. It's called inductive reasoning. What else has the word cap in it? I can think of one more. It's not very pretty, I can tell you that. French Revolution. What's going to happen to this guy? You haven't studied the French Revolution. D.
Stage fright?
Decapitate. Right. He's in for some serious problems. Anyway, your mom will explain that one to you later. Cap means head.
Will you ask him?
I will.
Huh?
As I said, I will.
So I can't think of anything else with cap in it. Capitulate. This is how our language is structured. What's cap mean? Head. Capitulate means you give in, right?
So you
I want to go to Chick-fil-A, Mom. Dad, I want to go to Chick-fil-A. You can't go to Chick-fil-A. Dad, we want to go to Chick-fil-A, Chick-fil-A, Chick-fil-A. Finally, Dad's like, what happened to my head? I capitulated. All right, we'll go. Okay? Cap means head.
What does she like?
Da capo al fine. Now, fine means finish. I mean, it sounds like finish, so we may as well just say it means finish, right? And that's what it does. We don't have to worry about that. So, to the head, then to the finish. To the head, then finish. Okay? That's what da capo al fine means. To the head, then to the finish. Well, I mean, don't we do that anyway?
So
We
start
start at the head of the piece and we finish at the end, right? But it's a little bit different. It's a little bit. So let's look at the navigation of the piece. Nav. What does nav mean? Navigation means where do you go, right? Where do you go? When we're in our car, we have all these things to force our navigation. We have the navigator, right, the GPS, and then we used to have maps, and then we have roads, we have lines on the road, we have traffic lights, we have signs, we have exit ramps, we have roads, right? We can't just drive off into the trees. We don't have to worry so much about navigation. But when you're out at sea, you don't have any of that. You don't have roads, you don't have signs, you don't have traffic lights, you got nothing. You know what you got?
Water.
Stars. It's water. I mean, how do you know where to go looking at the water? Well, there's 3 fish over there, let's follow them. Now, you look at the stars for your navigation, right? And so we call this the Navy. It's the Navy. Because the Navy, where does the Navy operate? Out on water. And they have to navigate. Now, these days we have GPS, but, you know, in the old days, they had to look at the stars, they had to navigate, and so we call it the Navy. The Navy. Which means where to go,
Nothing.
right? So, the Navy navigates. They're into navigation. Navigate. Sounds like a scandal.
Yep.
So, what's the navigation? If nav means where to go, what's the navigation of this piece? Well, it says da capo al fine, and then here's the fine. So, at the very end, it says DC al fine. The DC is an abbreviation, stands for da capo. What does da capo mean? We just spent 20 minutes learning what it means.
It's a little bored.
What does cap mean? Head, to the head, yeah. Go to the head of the piece. So The navigation of this piece is we're gonna start at measure 1, we're gonna go all the way through to measure 24. So the navigation, you have to know this, 1 through 24. You have to know how to read the navigation of the music. Because we have repeats, but there's no repeat here, right? But there is a repeat. Da capo means repeat, but it's a special kind of repeat which gives you a little bit different navigation than just repeat, right? We could put a repeat sign at the end of the piece, but then we wouldn't know where to finish. We're not going to go to the end of the piece twice. We're going to go to the end of the piece once. We're going to go da capo al fine, then to the finish. Well, where's fine? Fine is right here in the middle of measure 16, and that's where we're going to finish. So we're going to go back to the head, and then we're going to go to the fine. And the fine is located right here.
So
Fine.
we start at
Yeah.
at this one, and then we're going to finish here. Then we start again and finish after.
Right. Progressive piano, book B. For He's a Jolly Good Fellow, the navigation is going to be 1 through 24. Da capo, back to 1, to the fine, 16. 1 to 24, 1 to 16. We're not going to play measures 17 through 24 the second time around. And that's why we have da capo al fine. That's why we're not using the repeat sign, because the composer does not want, or arranger does not want you to finish the piece on measure 24 the second time around. That's the reason we use this instruction rather than the repeat instruction. He is moving the marker up for the finish line. Okay? So this is the navigation of For He's a Jolly Good Fellow. This is what da capo alla fine means. To the head, then to the finish. You're not going to see that written in English because we use Italian terms in music, probably because the violin evolved out of Italy. And that's where the orchestras and the concerto grossi came out of during that time. Okay? Da capo alla fine. So go ahead and play the piece.